Welcome to this episode of Leap Forward. I'm Jordan Hempel, product specialist with Riesterer Schnell. I work on AMS, precision ag hardware, and then also precision upgrade kits. And today I have a special guest with me. It is Clint Chaffer from John Deere. He is the marketing for precision upgrades. Clint, what can you tell me about yourself?
Hey Jordan, thanks for having me on the show. First off, appreciate being here. I'm in marketing for precision upgrades. Like I said, been with Deere for a little over a year and a half, but I've spent my entire career in the ag industry and a vast majority of it in the technology space. Work out of our Moline headquarters there, and then born and raised just about 45 minutes south of the Quad Cities on a little family farm with about 1,200 acres corn and soybeans that my mom and dad are still running today.
That's awesome. And before we were talking, and you said that you actually worked in Wisconsin for some of your jobs previously. In, the lay of the landscape here, it's not just corn and soybeans, it's vegetables, cranberries. I mean, there's a whole lot of different crops that we grow here, and I'm sure you experienced that when you were here as well.
Jordan, I remember the first time that I ever pulled into the Stevens Point area, and that was absolutely incredible to see just the diversification of crops. You talked about it. I mean, we were on a lettuce farm, a carrot farm, went to a cranberry patch, and of course a ton of potatoes up there as well. So just a fascinating area when you look at the diversity of agriculture.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I mean, just talking about specialty crops and our regular corn and soy crops, that brings us right into precision upgrades. Those high dollar crops, we need to make sure that the nutrients are placed where they're supposed to be, the seeds are placed where they're supposed to be. And that kind of just brings us right into, how we're planting these crops, how we're applicating them, how we're harvesting them. And, what can you tell us about some precision upgrades for each of those, different crop cycles?
Yeah, and I like how you laid that out. I think jumping in, maybe we start at planters, right? We have a really exciting planter portfolio right now here, Jordan. We have our Ultimate Planter Upgrade Kit, which basically allows a farmer to upgrade a planter all the way back to 2005. I always laugh because I'm like, if you think about a planter bar, what's wrong with that bar? Right? Most of the time they are in still great shape outside of, unless you hit something with it. But most of the time those bars are in great shape. So we have an Ultimate Planter Upgrade Kit that basically we strip off all of the row units and all the wiring harness, and basically rebuild that planter with all brand new row units. You customize the row units for your operation. You can select things like ExactEmerge or MaxEmerge 5E for the meter technology, and then you can select a whole bunch of other options, right? Whether you want solid gauge wheels or spoked gauge wheels, and et cetera, et cetera. And then the other piece about that kit, it also upgrades all of the architecture on the planter as well. So then you jump up to SeedStar 5, where you're really future-proofing your planter. You're getting that high-definition data. And really, in the end, after you do an Ultimate Planter upgrade, let's say, a 2010 planter, that 2010 planter now is technology on the technology side is the same as what that 2026 planter is, right? And so that's the incredible part, being able to utilize that piece of equipment that you already own, the one that's sitting in your shed here today. Along with that, Jordan, we also have the opportunity on 2015 and newer planters that we can end up upgrading the meter, right? So let's say if you have an ME5E planter today, right? Electric meters already on there, but you really want to jump into the high-speed planting, increase your productivity, right? By utilizing ExactEmerge. We have a kit that you can actually upgrade that planter from ME5E right to ExactEmerge. And with that Exactamerge, you're also getting the brush belt as well. So a lot of really neat kits as far as for planters, as far as for our metering technology. And then we can jump into things like Exact Shot, Furrow Vision, all of those fun ones where we're on the cutting edge of technology.
Oh, right. Exactly. And, it's a lot easier, I think, when we talk with customers that, you can keep this planter and you don't have to spend a boatload on a brand new one. You get
Yep.
new technology that you get with a brand new planter. You can keep your frame, and let's customize it to what you want, like you said there, Clint. And even if it's not a row unit upgrade or a meter upgrade, like you said, we got furrow vision, exact shot, frame weight distribution, individual row hydraulic downforce upgrades, just little incremental upgrades that can help that, that growing season, how we're placing that seed, making sure all of our downforce margins are correct. Those little things are huge versus having to buy a whole new planter. And I really like a story from this spring. I was riding with a customer. He had a 1795 planter, and I was looking back at the planter, and I could see that his wings were tipped up a little bit. He didn't have markers on it, but he had weights on the wings and IRHD for his downforce system. But I said, I think you really need some frame weight distribution here. And we really dug into the data looking at our company's demo planter versus his planter for downforce margins. And when we looked at that data in Operations Center, we could see that on his planter, he had more red streaks throughout the field of bad downforce versus the demo planter, which had frame weight distribution on it, which had less red streaks in it. So, it's just little things like that, that make a huge difference in that crop's growing.
Oh, yeah, that does not surprise me, Jordan. If you think about a 1795 planter like that, there's a lot of weight, right? And a lot of weight in the center of that planter as well, as you start thinking about the CCS tanks and being able to put that frame weight distribution. It really, I always try to explain that technology of it's basically lifting weight off of the center of the planter, and it's putting it out towards the wings to do exactly what you're talking about is, hey, how do I make sure I have the right ground contact, right? Which all of that ends up leading to emergence, which leads to my yield, right? Like all of those things start playing in. And that's where a lot of our precision upgrade kits, whether it's planters, sprayers, harvest, any of them, a lot of those, we always like to take a look at that and say, what is my return on investment of this purchase, right? How do I start getting that return if I'm making this investment into this piece of equipment? And little things like that, right, are things that you got to start calculating in.
Oh, yeah, exactly. ROI, that's the biggest thing that we got to look at with customers and farmers here is, how fast can this pay for itself, or will I make my money back on it and yield? And I think that's huge no matter what upgrade we're looking at. And I know we were talking before this too, and even SurePoint has some great options now that we can outfit planters with too.
Yeah. So they announced their new electric meter, the MVX, and that is just a great meter setup that has a ton of capability. And with that, it really expands. Not only can they go into XP, John Deere XP planter back to like '05. They can also do the Maximerge Shank as well, that 2015 and newer. But they can also go into non-Deere planters, right? So let's say if you have a blue planter that you're pulling with your John Deere tractor, you can now outfit this and basically get up to that electric metering, get that high singulation. And you can also then pair that with items like their RFX suspension kit, which is their hydraulic suspension downforce, and then also their GFX, which are their frame mounted row cleaners. So a ton of great opportunity, and it doesn't just stop at that compatibility either. So I'd always say, talk to your John Deere dealer to make sure make sure that you understand the compatibility there, because they have a wide range of compatibility within SharePoint.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And, I think it just ties everything together so much better. You can have a diehard John Deere guy, but he might like that blue or red planter. But if we can get the John Deere stuff on it, that's awesome to tie everything together, get all your data in one place. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, and that's a full ISO bus system too, right? So, I mean, you can run that into your, Gen 4 or G5 display, right? And be able to get all of that information right into Op Center. So, that's another key piece as you start thinking about that electric metering system with the MBX.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And seeing that we covered planners pretty well here, I'd say, what's our next pass of the season? Application. And Clint, what do we got to offer for sprayer upgrades?
We have some fantastic sprayer upgrades to get you to that next level of technology. The first place that I would start with is looking at how do I get my sprayer upgraded to individual nozzle control, right? We've done this with planters, again, like what we were just talking with metering and things of that nature. So I want to look at my sprayer the same way. How do I get down to controlling each individual nozzle? And we actually have a couple different offerings for that. So depending on the year of your sprayer, we can end up looking at something like Ink Pro, which is Individual Nozzle Control Pro. We call it Ink for short. So with Ink Pro, we have the ability to go all the way back, even into the 30 series. So think of those guys that have a 2008 to 2014 4730 or 4830, right? There's a pile of those out there. And a lot of guys are running those. We have a kit that you can end up getting that will actually turn that into a nozzle by nozzle control on that sprayer. And that ends up, a lot of our data that we're showing on whether it's individual nozzle control or exact apply that we'll talk about here in just a minute. When we start getting down to that individual nozzle, we're showing on average a 7% savings on overlap and turn compensation, right? As you start thinking about just savings of being able to shut that individual row off as opposed to just staying on sections. And we've even seen guys get up to a 12% savings on that. And then I always tell guys, I'm like, if you're farming big, flat, square fields, your return's less, right? You just have less overlap. You have less point rows. If you're farming in some irregularly shaped fields, which there's quite a few of those up in Wisconsin, right? And so you can start getting an excellent return from that. Just in savings alone, because you're not overspraying. And another piece that I'd say on that is just you're also not only do you have the savings, but you're not stressing that crop out either, right? Double applying crop, we've seen what happens to that, right? You can take soybeans; it's still metabolizing everything that you're putting on that plant. So if you can limit that stress on the plant, and also save on herbicide savings, man, you can see a pretty nice increase of productivity there.
Oh, right. Exactly. And, I think Ink Pro is huge because it's kind of a stepping stone into Exact Apply. If a customer is going from just straight section shutoff to Ink Pro and maybe that next sprayer is going to be that Exact Apply sprayer, I think it's a great stepping stone to really dive into that technology of what we're seeing with what Ink Pro can do and then Exact Apply and, then building on that into See and Spray as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I did want to point out that if you look at the two nozzles, when we talk about Ink Pro and Exact Apply, Ink Pro is the 5 nozzle turret, and that is 15 hertz pulsing. And then you have the Exact Apply, and that's the one with the 6 turret, which actually allows you to then select what nozzles that you're going out of, right? So you can end up doing A or B or A and B, right? When you start thinking about high flow, and that has up to 30 hertz pulsing, right? So that Exact Apply system has been the gold standard on sprayer technology, in my opinion.
Oh, right. Yep, exactly. And, even we got some R series sprayers out there that maybe weren't outfitted with Exact Apply from the factory, but that's still an option to outfit them now, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely. You can get that precision upgrade kit. And then along with that, right, we have, I know we'll talk about See & Spray in just a second, but you also have other things depending on the compatibility of your sprayer, of course, but reclaim and recirc, right? Being able to recapture all of that when you're cleaning out your booms, man, that could save just a ton of money as we start thinking about all that wasted spray as you're sitting there cleaning out. So reclaim and recirc is a precision upgrade kit. And then of course, with the boom control, right? As we start thinking about Boom Track Pro 2, being able to update to that system as well. And all of these things kind of prep you for getting ready to take on the next step of See & Spray, right?
Oh, right. Exactly. And a few experiences I've had with, reclaim. I think this is really cool. I used to be a technician in the shop, and when we would get new sprayers in, when we would be setting them up for the customer, we would reclaim the winterization fluid in there. And normally, when we would fill those up for winter, we would put around 45 gallons in there. I reclaimed about 35 to 40 gallons worth of that product, which is, that's awesome. Just look at that. And what is that going to do for whatever chemical you put in there as well?
We show, just to throw a number out there on this, but we show roughly saving up to $600 a day with pressure recirculation there. And that's thinking of, hey, am I cleaning that out, multiple times a day? And again, you start thinking about, 20, 25, 30 gallons at a time. That savings really starts adding up.
Oh, right. Exactly. And, every little bit of savings, that definitely helps the operation as a whole. If we can reuse this, that's great. It's not going into the weeds. It's not going on your driveway. It's not running into the creek or the ditch,
Yep. Absolutely. And like we were saying, once you have Exact Apply and once you have a Boom Track Pro 2 on a 2018 or newer sprayer, then you can take the step into See & Spray Premium, right? And now you're getting that ability to go out there and only spray the weeds that are out there, right? And I think that technology is just absolutely incredible. You basically outfit your sprayer with 36 cameras across your boom, and 6 VPUs that are doing all the video processing. And it basically will see that weed, and I'm talking incredibly small weeds, right? And if it sees that weed, that's where it ends up spraying. And we're just seeing, we're seeing guys up to 50% herbicide savings on their contact spray, right? Being able to go out there and do that See & Spray pass. And I've even heard of a couple farmers tell me here, Jordan, that they go, man, I was seeing that it was spraying and I didn't see any weeds. So I stopped the sprayer and I jumped out, and sure enough, there were weeds that I couldn't see from the sprayer cab because they're only the size about a quarter, right?
Oh, yeah.
And Russell. Yeah. And it's doing all of this at up to 12 miles an hour, right? Or 15 miles an hour if you're running a fallow pass now. That was one of our updates to this year, is increasing the speed on fallow. So just really increasing that productivity. Again, you have that herbicide savings. And the other piece, think of all the refills. If you're saving 50% of your herbicide, you're filling up less, right? Which makes just you're able to cover way more acres at that point in time. And hey, a lot of times during spraying, especially on those post passes, the window to spray, if there's rain or any other kind of weather that's coming in, being able to cover some more acres is a key piece in the puzzle there.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's huge. And like you said about spraying weeds that we can't see, I've experienced that too on demos and on customers' farms that are running it. It is impressive, especially when you put that blue dye in there for that demo and you can see that it sprayed that weed. That's just, it's crazy. You can't see it. The sprayer can see it. And at that speed, it's just, I don't know, it's wild, I think,
No, absolutely. And I always like to also talk about the flexibility of that system too, Jordan, is, we have different sensitivity ranges, right? That you can either dial it up or dial it back depending on the field that you're in and the conditions that you're in. You can also always, it doesn't impact the, how your sprayer works. You can still shut it off and go out there. And if you need to do a broadcast application, you can do that, right? It really has ultimate flexibility, when you go out there and doing that application. The other piece that I think is incredibly important as well as we start thinking about just all the data that you're collecting, right? So you can go back into Op Center and now you can start seeing exactly where that sprayer was turned on and turned off, right? Essentially giving you that weed mapping, right? And so it's really, really incredible as you start thinking about just all the downstream benefits of See and Spray as well, of really just opening up a lot of opportunities for savings and of course increased productivity as well.
Oh, exactly. And we've seen some farms change their chemical plan just based on the savings that they've seen. So maybe they might be using a more aggressive, weed killer or what have you, just, because they're seeing the savings, they're saving more money. They can use more aggressive chemicals. And, I think that's huge that one piece of equipment kind of changes the outlook on what your farm is actually doing.
Absolutely. A lot of guys are looking at application passes a lot differently, right? Just due to this technology here. The other piece too, I talk about tendering a sprayer is always incredibly important too, right? That's one of the key pieces of the puzzle is just how do I keep that sprayer full, right? And being able to mix up everything. And that's where I'm going to kick it back to SurePoint. We can look at something like a quick draw system that you can set up on a tendering sprayer. They even have a full trailer now, a tendering trailer called the Arsenal trailer, but that has quick draw already on it. But that's a perfect pair with something like See and Spray or really any sprayer at that point in time. But being able to just a push of a button, right? It does all of the mixing for you and just really, not only increases the productivity and time savings of mixing, but also takes a little bit of that stress away, right? Mixing up some of these tanks can be a little bit stressful, at least in my opinion. And you have something like a quick draw where you can just push a button and it's taking care of the mixing for you.
Oh, right, exactly. And being able to set up your tank mixes on a tablet right at your fingertips, I think that's pretty cool what they came out with there. And I think the take rate will be pretty high on that in the future here when, you got those farms doing their own spraying, just to take care of everything themselves. Cause tendering always seems like the biggest issue. Like you say, it's the hardest to, always find someone or to get out to that field fast enough. And if you can get that done in a timely manner and everything is mixed correctly, that's huge.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And this finally will take us into our harvesting upgrades. So what do we got to offer for that, Clint?
Yeah, we got some great upgrades as you start thinking about harvesting. One of probably the most popular one right now, I would say, is our cross auger shutoff. Right, being able to basically turn your cross augers off and be able to empty out your unloading auger. Right, and if you think about that, these unloading augers are pretty long anymore, right? And if you have that thing clear full of grain, if you got to shut that off, let's say you're going up, I know that I've been in those situations where all of a sudden there's a washout in front of you and I got to shut that off in a hurry, right? And if you shut that off and you have all of that grain in there, that's just a lot of weight. It's a lot of wear and tear. And the next time that you go to start that up, if you think about just the chain starting to try pulling all of that weight, you also have some wear and tear just even on startup. With that cross auger shutoff, it seamlessly integrates into your system. So you don't have to, there's no foot pedal or anything of that nature. When you shut off your unloading auger, it shuts off those cross augers and it empties out that unloading auger for you. And that way that is all empty. And the next time you go to start it up, you don't have that wear and tear of trying to, fire up that auger when it's clear full at that point in time.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I'm glad that you brought up the integration part of it because I think that's huge where you turn that unloading auger off and a few seconds later uh your auger shut off, versus having to remember to hit that foot pedal and do all that. I think the seamless integration is just huge. Especially when you got so many other things going on in harvest. If you're trying to watch for that, that washoe, like you say, or if there's a tree in the middle of the field, a rock, what have you, there's a lot of stuff going on that you're trying to pay attention to, and hitting that foot pedal, you might forget about it.
Yeah, and that's where this does it all automatically. We can go back to a 2018 S700 series, or a 25 and newer S7s, right? So if you have one of those combines, you have that opportunity to add cross auger shutoff to your combine there. We also have another one which is adjustable spout, right? Which is the adjustable spout, as we can move that back and forth. Really helps when we start thinking about loading some of these auger carts or grain carts that are out there, right? Being able to kind of move that back and forth, and again, that's right on your hydrostat controller, right? And so you can have that right at your fingertips, and you can really dial that in and really top off that grain cart. Or where I love it the most is I know it's just a pain in the rear end to try dumping on a semi. It's always a pain. I can never gauge that right, and so being able to adjust that spout, either pull it in or push it out a little bit, makes filling up a semi significantly easier. And again, you can add this to the that 2018 or newer S700, or a 25 and newer S7. We even have a kit out there too, Jordan, where you can purchase the cross auger shutoff or adjustable spout independently. And we also have a bundle kit too, which will save you a little bit. So if you're actually interested in both adjustable spout and cross auger, be sure that you're looking into that combo kit.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that too, because the combo kit, it saves you actually a couple grand from when we've been pricing them out here. And it seems like if a customer wants the cross augers, then they want the adjustable spout for sure. So it's kind of nice to have both options that you can do at the same time. It cuts your install time just about in half if you do it together versus separately. So I think that's huge. If you're doing one, you might as well do two. And I mean, that combine's set up to rock and roll.
Oh, absolutely. And then we got to move on to the new the really new fun one that we just launched this year, which is auto unload. And so this is also a precision upgrade kit that you can add to your combine. Compatibility on this is S700 or S7's 2020 and newer. Or you can also put this on X9s that are 21 and newer. But this is really in addition to an enhancement to our machine sync technology. And this actually adds a camera and controller kit to your unloading auger. And what this does is it automatically takes control. So, like machine sync, the combine driver can basically manually control the grain cart, right? Moving it back and forth. What auto unload does is it makes that whole process all automated. And so we're using that camera to really look at that grain cart, and then the system is automatically moving that grain cart forward and back to top that off. And you can even set different levels on how full you want that grain cart. And it starts, like I said, it'll just move that back and forth, really removing that stress on that operator, on the combine operator, where they don't have to be sitting there looking at the grain cart anymore to make sure that they're dumping in the right place or topping that off correctly. That auto unload kind of takes control and does all of that automatically.
Yeah, I think that's just really cool. We kind of had that with the choppers with active fill, but not quite to this point. And everything with speed automation and, machine sync, I think everything here is just tying all the equipment together and, ultimately leading to autonomy in the future here. But, I just with all these upgrades all together in total, I mean, it's bringing the whole farm together. You can upgrade your planters, your sprayers, your harvesting equipment, tractors. It's kind of just a full circle, farm upgrade without having to buy all this new equipment. And I think that's going to be huge going into the future.
Yeah, I mean that's really what the whole underlying part of precision upgrades is, to really meet the farmer where they're at on their tech journey, right? If you're, again, we talked about, I always like to look at planners on that. If you're starting out with trying to get into electric meters, we have a kit for that. If you're already at that cutting edge, you can jump into something like ExactShot or Furrow Vision, right? And so it really is, that precision upgrade kit allows you to look at your current fleet that you have and say, where can I start making those operational changes to gain more productivity or gain yield advantage, things of that nature. And that's where we can start putting these precision upgrade kits together. And again, really with a wide range of compatibility as we start thinking about the equipment that's currently sitting in your shed at that point in time, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And I really want to thank you, Clint, for coming on today. I think this was just a great talk about all the precision upgrades that we have available. And if you have anything to add before we end it here, but we're really appreciative that you were able to join here and give your very knowledgeable insight, because I don't think there's not a lot of insight out there on this quite yet, but as we're going forward, this is going to be the way of the future for sure.
Yeah, no, Jordan, I just appreciate you inviting me onto the show and having this conversation. I could talk precision upgrades all day long, so I appreciate this conversation, and I'm glad to be able to drive some awareness to your customers and other listeners out there that of all these awesome kits that we have available for their operations.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Clint, and thank you all for listening to Leap Forward with Riesterer Schnell. Just make sure that you subscribe.
We're your John Deere dealer coming through for you, Riesterer and Schnell.